Okay, so you're aiming for that performance production manager role.
Right.
You want to be like the maestro of logistics, right?
Right.
The guardian of budgets, the one who makes sure the show doesn't just go on, but absolutely kills it.
Exactly. It's more than just the technical stuff too, right?
Yeah,
It's leadership. It's
yeah.
creative problem solving. It's
Yeah.
keeping a million things moving and in sync.
And that's what we're diving deep into today.
Yes.
Arming you with the insights to not only ace those interview questions, but to really demonstrate you've got the skills and the savvy to excel in this role.
Yeah.
We'll be pulling from RoleCatcher's expert guides, and I've got to say some of these insights are pure gold.
Oh, yeah. Let's jump right in.
Okay.
One question I can almost guarantee you're going to get.
Okay.
Can you describe your experience with managing budgets and financial forecasting?
Big one.
This is where you prove that you're not just an artist. You understand the money side.
Right. It's like planning a rock concert, right?
Yes.
You've got the band, you've got the lights, you've got the pyrotechnics. But if you blow the budget, there's no encore.
Exactly. And don't just say, I'm good with numbers.
Right.
Showcase it. Talk about those budgeting tools, the strategies you use to save money.
Yeah.
Like, did you negotiate an amazing deal on equipment rentals?
Right.
Or found a way to repurpose set pieces?
So nice.
Those are the details that they'll remember.
Okay. So that's budgeting.
Mm-hmm.
What about forecasting?
Yes.
What if a vendor suddenly jacks up their prices or a storm threatens an outdoor event?
That's when you got to show them you're thinking ahead.
Okay.
Talk about contingency plans.
Right.
Maybe even use an example from your experience.
Yeah.
In one production, we had some weather delays pop up, so I quickly found an indoor backup venue, and we were able to keep things moving without going over budget.
Okay, so the budget's all sorted.
Yeah.
The show is financially viable.
What's next?
Be ready for this one. How do you ensure that all aspects of a production meet quality standards?
Ooh.
You can't just hope for the best, you need systems.
Right. It's like that saying, the devil's in the details.
One missed cue, one faulty mic, and the whole thing suffers.
Exactly. This is where you highlight your structured approach.
Okay.
Talk about quality control checklists, pre-show walkthroughs, technical rehearsals, all that good stuff.
Right. And don't forget about problem solving.
Yes, proactive problem solving.
Instead of just saying, like, I'm a good problem solver,
Right.
give them an example. During a tech run-through, we discovered a lighting rig was incompatible with the venue. I coordinated with the technical team to find a suitable replacement within 24 hours, ensuring the performance went on without a hitch.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You've shown them you can handle the pressure, you can adapt, and you maintain that quality.
Yeah.
Interviewers want to hear those stories.
Of course.
They want to know how you've used your skills in real situations.
They want to know you can walk the walk.
Exactly. And this is actually a good time to mention that RoleCatcher can help you prepare those answers.
Oh, right. Tell me more about that. How does RoleCatcher come into play here?
So their AI analyzes job descriptions and figures out if there are any skills that you have that you aren't highlighting on your resume.
Interesting.
And then it helps you tailor your resume for specific roles, which, as you can imagine, makes you much more likely to get an interview in the first place.
So it's like having a personalized career coach.
Pretty much. Yeah.
That highlights what makes you stand out.
Yeah. And then when it comes to interview prep,
Okay.
they also have an AI-powered practice feature,
Oh, cool.
which lets you practice answering these common interview questions, and the AI analyzes your responses.
Wow.
And it'll give you feedback on your clarity, your pacing, even your body language.
That's incredible. It's like having a virtual interview coach
Exactly.
right in your pocket.
And the best part is it's completely free.
I love that it's all about empowering you to do your best.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've talked about budget and quality control, but productions are complex, right?
Yeah.
You've got a lot of personalities involved. How do you address that in an interview? You're going to want to be ready for, how do you manage a team of performers and production staff?
Oh, yeah. Big one.
Because you're juggling artistic temperaments with technical minds,
Right.
all under tight deadlines.
Sounds like herding cats. But the cats are all incredibly talented.
Right, and they're passionate about their craft.
Exactly.
So this is where you really want to highlight your leadership skills.
Okay.
So talk about how you communicate clearly, how you delegate effectively,
Yeah.
how you provide feedback that works for different personalities.
And don't be afraid to talk about conflict resolution.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Right? What happens when two department heads are clashing over creative differences? How do you handle that?
That's a great example of a follow-up question they might ask,
Yeah.
because they want to see how you handle those tough situations.
Yeah. You could say something like, if I was in a situation with conflicting creative visions, I'd start by making sure that everyone feels heard. Then I try to guide them towards a solution that honors both the artistic vision and the practical constraints that we're working with.
So it's about diplomacy,
Yes.
understanding and finding that win-win.
Exactly.
And if they really want to put you in the high seat,
Let me guess,
Yeah.
they're going to ask about your experience with stage management and technical production.
you read my mind. This is where you prove you're not just comfortable leading people. You are fluent in the language of lights, sound rigging, the whole shebang.
Right.
What should our listeners be sure to hit on here?
This is where you get to talk about your experience setting up stages and working with lighting plots, soundboards, all that fun stuff.
Right.
And safety protocols, of course.
Of course, always got to be thinking about safety.
Absolutely. And remember, you're leading those technical crews. You're not just directing them.
Right. It's like you really have to speak their language, understand what they're dealing with. So for our listeners whose only experience with stagecraft is adjusting the bass on their Bluetooth speaker, like how do you even approach that in an interview?
That's where those real-world examples are so important.
Right.
Even if it was a small production, you can still talk about it.
Okay.
You could say something like, well, I was managing this local theater production. We had this audio issue that came up, and we didn't have much budget left to fix it. I ended up working directly with the sound engineer, and we were able to use my knowledge of acoustics and mixing consoles to figure out what was going wrong. And we actually found a really cost-effective solution that totally improved the sound quality.
Wow. So you've shown you understand the technical side of things and you're a creative problem solver.
Exactly.
Now, I don't know about you, but I am chronically 5 minutes behind.
Mm.
So I'm guessing that time management is like a huge part of this role.
Oh, absolutely.
So how do you answer a question like, can you describe your experience with managing schedules and deadlines?
This is where you get to talk about how organized you are, your love of Gantt charts, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Make sure you mention any scheduling software that you're familiar with.
But let's be real for a second. Even the most organized plan can fall apart, right?
Oh, for sure.
Like, what happens when a performer gets sick or a piece of equipment breaks down? How do you show them you can handle the pressure?
That's when you transition from organized maestro to like ultimate problem solver.
I love it.
You could tell them about a time when we were putting on this big conference and the main speaker canceled last minute, just hours before they were supposed to go on. I immediately got on the phone with other speakers from our roster, secured a replacement who was a perfect fit for the topic and the audience, and then I adjusted the schedule so that everything flowed smoothly. The event went on without a hitch, thanks to quick thinking and a well-prepared team.
It's like you took a potential disaster and turned it into a shining example of your skills.
Exactly.
You showed them you can think on your feet and that you've always got a backup plan.
Always.
Which actually reminds me,
Yeah.
while our listeners are busy prepping for these interviews, they've got a bit of a secret weapon too.
They do.
RoleCatcher.
Oh, yeah. This is a good time to mention that.
For this question about deadlines,
Hey.
how can RoleCatcher help?
So their AI is really good at going through your work history and picking out skills that you might not even realize are transferable.
Interesting.
And it can help you connect those dots and craft an answer that will really resonate with the hiring manager.
It's like having a personal assistant for your career.
I like that.
Digging through all your past experiences to find those golden nuggets that'll make you shine.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got our schedules figured out. We're hitting our deadlines. But what about staying within budget? I bet they'll ask about that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Expect a question like, how do you ensure that productions are delivered within budget?
Okay.
Because they want to know that you can be creative while also being responsible with their money.
Right. It's like anybody can throw money at a problem.
Right.
But a skilled performance production manager knows how to get the most out of every dollar without compromising on quality.
Exactly. And this is where you want to highlight your negotiation skills.
Okay.
You know, did you manage to swing a bulk discount on materials?
Nice.
Or repurpose existing set pieces instead of building new ones?
Oh, very smart.
Those are the things that'll impress them.
So it's not just about staying under budget.
Right.
It's about making the most of what you have.
Exactly. Like if you found a way to reallocate some of the budget to get a better sound system,
Right.
which then improves the experience for the audience, that's a big deal.
Exactly. You're thinking big picture.
Absolutely. And RoleCatcher can help you tell that story in a way that really lands.
Okay.
Can make sure you're using the language that hiring managers want to hear.
So it's like having a financial advisor for your interview prep,
Plus.
but one who understands stage lighting and sound design.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about budgets. We've talked about deadlines. We've talked about keeping things running smoothly. But what about when something unexpected happens?
Right.
Because let's be real, in live production, something is always bound to go wrong.
Always.
So how do you prep for questions about risk management?
You have to become a master of anticipation.
Right.
They might ask you something like, can you describe your experience with risk management in production?
Okay.
They want to know that you're not just reacting to problems, you're actively trying to prevent them.
So it's like playing chess.
Yes.
You're thinking several moves ahead, trying to anticipate what your opponent is going to do.
Exactly. Except in this case, your opponent is like a little gremlin who
Right.
loves to mess things up.
Absolutely loves to cause chaos.
So you want to show them that you've got those what-if scenarios covered. Like, we were putting on this outdoor music festival, and I knew there was a chance of rain. So we rented a big tent just in case. And we also created a detailed evacuation plan in case the weather got really bad.
Yeah.
That way we knew the performers and the audience would be safe no matter what.
That's a great example of thinking ahead.
You don't wait for the problem to happen. You're already prepared.
And I bet having those contingency plans in place not only saved the show,
Right.
but it probably impressed the organizers too.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
Yeah.
You've talked about budgets, quality control, team management, technical skills, schedules, risk management. It's a lot to juggle,
It's a lot.
even for the most seasoned production manager.
It's true, but that's what makes it so exciting.
Right.
No 2 days are ever the same.
And speaking of keeping things fresh and exciting,
Yeah.
I bet they're going to ask about how you stay up to date with industry trends and best practices.
Oh, yeah. That's a common one.
Because this is a field that is constantly evolving, right? So how do you approach that question? It's like, how do you keep learning and growing in a field that's always changing? Like new tech, new ideas, new everything.
You have to be a lifelong learner, basically.
Okay.
So when they ask you, how do you stay up to date with industry trends and best practices?
Right.
What they really want to know is, are you curious? Do you want to keep getting better?
Right.
So
Yeah.
mention some industry publications that you follow.
Okay.
There's Lighting and Sound America Projection, Lights and Staging News, things like that.
Yeah.
Have you been to any workshops or master classes
Okay.
or taken any online courses to improve your skills?
Okay.
Those are all great things to mention.
But don't just like rattle off a list of names, right?
Right.
Talk about something specific you learned,
Exactly.
something that really made you think.
Yeah, like I recently went to this seminar on sustainable production practices, and it was amazing. I had no idea. There were so many innovative ways to like reduce waste and save energy, and now I'm trying to use those ideas in everything I do. Now you're showing them that you're really invested in learning and growing,
Yeah.
and that you're aware of the big issues facing the industry.
Okay. That makes sense.
And if you're not sure where to start with all that, RoleCatcher can actually point you in the right direction.
Oh, cool.
It can connect you with industry organizations and publications and even online learning platforms that are specific to this role.
It's like having a personalized roadmap to success.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's say you're in the interview and things are going really well. You're nailing all these questions.
You got this.
And then they hit you with this. Can you describe your experience with managing multiple productions simultaneously?
Oh, yeah.
Because let's be honest, in this business, there's no such thing as downtime is.
Downtime, what's downtime?
Last phrase exactly.
This is where those organizational skills really come in handy.
So if you thrive in chaos, this is your moment.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So talk about your process for managing multiple projects.
Yeah.
Are you into Agile or Scrum? Do you love a good Gantt chart?
Right.
Tell them what works for you, and don't forget about communication.
Oh, right. Because with multiple teams running around,
So important.
communication is key.
You've got to make sure everybody's on the same page.
It's like conducting an orchestra,
Yes.
except every musician is playing a different symphony.
Well,
And somehow you have to make it all sound good together.
exactly. You're bringing all those different pieces together to create something amazing.
I love that.
And if you're not sure how to explain all that,
Yeah.
remember, RoleCatcher can give you some suggestions.
Okay.
It can help you emphasize those key skills,
Great.
project management, communicate, all that good stuff.
It's like having a personal editor for your interview answers.
Exactly.
Amazing. This has been so helpful.
It's been fun.
Before we wrap up, any final words of wisdom for our listeners who are getting ready for those performance production manager interviews?
Yes, absolutely. Just remember to be yourself.
Oh, that's so
Your
important.
passion for this work. That's what they're going to remember.
Let that enthusiasm shine through,
And don't underestimate the power of preparation.
which is where RoleCatcher comes in.
Exactly. They'll give you the tools and the confidence you need to really nail that interview.
It's all about empowering you.
And the best part is, it's free.
So go out there, break a leg.
You got this.
You've got the talent, you've got the drive, And now, with a little help from the deep dive in RoleCatcher, you've got the insights to really wow them.
Good luck out there.
Until next time, keep those productions running smoothly.